There has been this general consensus on the internet that hard difficulties usually mean better gameplay and overall a better game. While I do think there is some truth to it, are easy games worse? The easy way to answer this question is a flat out no, and many people agree that easy games are a good thing. Heck, even some of the elitists of these games are actually play on easier difficulties and say they play the harder one, so they get the rights to something? I guess bragging rights. Whatever, back on topic. Let's see what difficulties in a game have to offer. Generally, from a game development standpoint, easier games allow for a wider accessibility, and this is good. After all, we don't want game developers starving because they don't get as many sales because their game is too difficult. On top of marketing being really hard to do nowadays. So we're starting to see a trend of games that previously were known for its difficulty give more accessibility with an easier mode, as seen in games such as Fire Emblem. Well, it's not a new trend per se, because we have already seen some of this creeping around with Final Fantasy Mystic Quest for example, and how we didn't get FF5 because of it. So, all in all, why are harder games glorified? Well, usually, if a game has really good gameplay, the players will want challenge out of a game. After all, the more they can get to play a game, with most rewarding experience, the more satisfied the general community will be. What do I mean by this? For example, those rewarding feelings when you complete a level in your favorite game that you had difficulty with for days. Anyway, so what do we do with this? Developers usually find a middle ground where they make the difficulty curve of a game designed as good as possible that appeals to many as possible people. Or they simply create a different difficulty mode. These two have a problem though. What if, in the first case, a game is too easy for one person all the way through or too difficult for another one? Or what if, in the second case, the hardest difficulty is still really easy, or the easiest difficulty is still hard for newcomers? I don't think adding more difficulties is a viable solution, as people will consider two options at most, easy and hard modes. Adding anything in between seems like a waste of resources, since people will ignore at least one mode, usually being easy or normal mode. But what if we're looking at it in the wrong way? Do we even need difficulty to appeal to everyone this way? Shouldn't we focus on adjusting our game's difficulty after establishing the themes of a game? For example, how FF6 could have used being harder in the second half of the game, since it was a post-apocalyptic world which intended us to feel powerless. Maybe if we analyze the situation in our game and come up with a difficulty that makes sense at the point, then maybe we can get a powerful message across that otherwise we wouldn't have. After all, games give experiences and should be treated as art. But wait, Joseph, what about, for example, games with no plot or puzzle games and such? If they focus mechanically on the game, they should focus on being the most challenging it can get to be and really try to push its limits. At least before it's inhumane, but they should explain the mechanics in safeguards first, obviously. As a side note, people usually say that dying a lot in a video game is usually because the game is hard. This isn't true in my opinion. What really matters in death is how the game punishes you for dying. If you die and you just have to wait a bit to jump back into action, then you wouldn't call that very penalizing, would you? Now, if you had to go back to the beginning of a level, for example, Mega Man, then death does matter a lot more and does increase the difficulty thanks to the mechanics of death in that game. All in all, games should focus on giving us adequate experiences, ones that we can remember for even the most specific things. And difficulty is one of them. What do you think? Do you agree with my opinion, or do you think there is something else involved that can affect the difficulty of a game? Okay, bye.